completely different. Something that is needed in our society today. And this lady travels the world giving inspirational talks. It's unique, and as I said, we need it. Please welcome Sonia Poleon. She's going to talk about how to develop yourself and influence others. Please, Sonia.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Sonia Poleon. I am an entrepreneur. I have a property portfolio, I have a children's day nursery, and I have an online shoe shop. But I always say that I'm a diamond with many different facets. And I used to work in this organisation on the top floor, and I used to take the lift up, and every morning I'd adorn myself in the mirror, because in the lifts they had these mirrors. And as I stepped out, I'd hold my head up high, because I didn't want anybody to know that I was going through my struggles. And this lady said to me one day, why do you always hold your head up high? And I said, because I'm a diamond with many different facets. I'd sit at my desk sometimes and I'd be dreaming and thinking and thinking. Sometimes I'd be thinking about my problems, but mainly I'd be thinking about where I'm going to go in the future. And people used to call me a daydreamer. Well, I think it's all right for them to call me a daydreamer, because in order for you to have dreams, you've got to dream the dreams first. I tell people, when I die, I'm going to die empty. Every thought, every idea, every ambition that ever came into my mind, I'm going to achieve it. I'm going to accomplish it. And if I don't do that, it's because somewhere along the line, I've decided that I don't want that anymore, or it's not for me. So I'm in control of my destiny. I want you to remember that there's a greatness inside each and every one of you. There's a greatness inside each and every one of you. You are exactly what you think you are, and where focus goes, energy flows. So wherever my focus is, I'm going to channel all my energies and put it there. And I'm going to make the things happen for myself. I'm not really an academic person. When I was young, when I was at school, I was a quiet one. I was shy. I used to sit at the back of the classroom. I'd never put my hand up because I was so nervous and frightened. I wasn't a boffin, but one thing I did have was ambition. I left school when I was 16, and in those days we had careers officers. So after we'd done our exams, we went off to see a careers officer. We told them what we wanted to be, and the careers officer told us what they thought we should be. So I wanted to be a midwife, yes, dream killers they are. I wanted to be a midwife, and I said, this is what I want to do. And they said, the lady looked at me over her glasses, and she said, I think you need to be a typist. I'm like, a typist? I want to be a midwife. Anyway, I went home, and I was really fuming mad about it, and I told my parents, and they said to me, well, those are people in authority. They know what's good for you, so you go off to college and be a typist. I was really, really gutted, but I had to do what my parents told me to do. I became a typist. I was a really good one. Became a receptionist, became a secretary, and I moved my way up in the ranks. And then one day I got this burning desire to be a housing officer. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from. But I had this desire to be a housing officer, and it wouldn't go away, it wouldn't go away. It just kept on coming back. So I started to apply for all these jobs, all these housing officers' jobs. And in those days, you needed the experience. Not the academic qualification, but the experience. So I couldn't get a job as a housing officer. I decided I was going to take any job I could get. So I went in there in the development department. That's the department where they build the properties. And the government had this new initiative, and it was called Do-It-Yourself Shared Ownership. They gave all these housing associations all these hundreds of thousands of pounds, and they had to give it to tenants to go and buy properties to make themselves independent, as they called it. So they was given this money, and they didn't know what to do with it. So I said, well, look, why don't you make a show house? And we can invite all the council tenants down. If the council's giving you the money, let's invite the council's tenants and give them something back. And what happened was, all the people were lining up to see me. My managers realised that I had this gift of selling properties to people. See, my passion was housing, and it came through. But I wasn't actually working in the housing department. I was working in the development. So I sold all these properties for them, but my passion was for housing. Anyway, one day I got my break. I got a 2-year fixed-term contract as a housing officer. And I worked really hard for the 2 years to prove myself, to prove that I could have that job on a permanent basis. And when the job came up for permanent advertising, somebody else got the job above me. So I said to my manager, what happened? Why didn't I get a job? He said, because she has a degree. I said, no. Does she have any experience? All these years I've been applying for these jobs, and you've told me I don't have enough experience. Does she have experience? No, Sonia, she's got a degree. Okay, right. So in myself, I decided, right, I need to go and get myself a degree. A few weeks after she started in her job, my manager came to me and he said to me, Sonia, I'd like you to show her how to fill out the application forms to go to court. Yeah. I want you to write a letter to all the tenants, yes, to tell them that she's a new housing officer, and I want you to take her to court and show her how to present the court cases. You see, I managed a really bad patch of properties where the rent arrears was really high, and I was good at getting the rent arrears lower. So they wanted me to show her my skills. So I said, with all due respect, and I know you're my manager, but you employed her, she's got the academic qualifications, you train her. And I had some bad tenants when I was in housing. I've been locked in properties. I've been held hostage for 2 hours in an office by an ex-murderer. I've been threatened to have my throat cut from ear to ear and threatened to be shot, okay? And I decided that, you know, although I really love my job, these few people make it really, really unbearable for me. So I decided, you know, I'm going to do my own thing. So after I finished my degree, I decided social housing was not for me anymore, and I decided I was going to open my own letting agents. So that's what I did. Anyway, the first property I ever bought, I bought it for £48,000, and a few years later, I sold it for £250,000. And I spent every single penny. But I spent it all on properties because that was my passion. I was now building up my own property portfolio, my own empire. Some people were born to work for empires, and some people were born to build empires, and I'm building my own empire. Okay. I decided that I needed to change my outlook on life. I moved away from certain kind of people, because you know you have these people in your lives, they're really negative. People in your life, they call you all the time, they've got the same problem over and over again. And I decided, look, if you can't do anything about your problem, then you know, leave me, because I need to make a life for myself. And I went to, after university, I went on this program where I wanted to change my mind thought. And I realized that the subconscious mind is really, really powerful, okay? It's connected to God. They said, the scientists say it's got infinite power. Infinite power is God. And it only operates on one instruction, whether it's negative or positive, only one instruction. So I've been telling myself I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to do these things. Okay, because I knew that I needed to change the way I was. My husband had left me, had 4 children. I had to raise them on my own. He refused to pay the mortgage. He refused to pay child maintenance. But I wasn't chasing him. I wasn't taking him to the CSA. I was just living my life, because I said, you know what? I can't spend all my energy on him, all my focus on him. I have to focus on myself and my family, my children, so that I can raise them. Okay? I want to tell you that every one of us was born perfect. Everybody was born perfect. The only 2 fears we were born with is the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. Every other fear was embedded in us somewhere along the lines when we were growing up. Okay. Henry Ford was an inventor. He invented the motor car. Thomas Edison only had 3 months of schooling in his life, and he invented the lights. And without the lights, you know, we wouldn't have all these lovely different colours tonight. 3 months of schooling, but he had a burning desire, he had a passion. And I think when he got to like the 5,000th try, somebody said to him, you know, why don't you just give up? And he said, no, I'm not giving up. I've found 5,000 ways that you cannot invent a light bulb. But here we are today, in darkness, but there are lights around us, okay? And then there's the Wright brothers. They wouldn't give up until they invented the aeroplane. And when I travel the world, I have to go on an aeroplane. Every successful person has a painful story, and every painful story has a successful person. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to believe in yourself, because if you can believe in yourself, the whole world around you will believe in you. Thank you very much.
I got her card and I'm seeing her after. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Could you imagine how successful I'll be in next 2 or 5 years' time? Wow! Can't wait! Sonia Poleon. Is Sonia here? She's left? That inspirational talk? Ah, Sonia. No. Is Master Tyler, Isaac, he's gone? Oh, here he is. Come to a show.